Hello. So I have been away for a month and took a long break from social media and from my own projects and gave myself really time to just be. And it was really great because this time has allowed me to come up with a lot of new ideas, and I have just written them down instead of acting on them immediately. And I want to share in the next videos with you some of these meditations that I have that started to come up for me. And there are a variety of different topics around sexuality, around meditation, around conditioning, one's own thinking, and relationships. And let's see, I'm really trying to do this more for myself. I've been asking myself, where do I want to do this? Here is a nice place that I can just come to and sit and relax and do these recordings. And I'm trying to stay away from the idea of doing this for an outcome or for an audience. Who knows? I think these videos will probably be also a little bit longer, more like maybe 45 minutes, half an hour, maybe an hour, depending on what I'm talking on. There's a lot of thought that wants to come out, and I'm aware that we are living in a time where very few people have the possibility or the ability to even sit through a 1 hour long video. And now, especially on top of this, is really interesting as well. Something I noticed is when it's free, people don't really value it the same way that when they have paid a lump sum of money for it and then they force themselves to carve out the time. Now I'm intending to do these videos and have them be completely free. I don't want to have money for it. I just do them because I want to be doing them. So that's my first intention for this project. And I thought I'd start today about briefly talking about my time that I spent in Germany with my family for 1 month. I currently live in California, and we have this new trailer that we live in. Kind of live out in the woods next to this beautiful creek, and there's always something to do. There's always another project. I've been working on the trailer, remodeling it, and I've custom made all the furniture and still working on it. And there's this general attitude in me where I try to keep things really simple. Why? It's because I come from a background of addiction and depression and burnout. So over the last years, I've really come to value simplicity, and I try to keep one project at a time. And I kind of have to really actually work on doing it that way, that I don't let my own mind take over and suggest a bunch of new projects, and then I'm trying to figure out 5 different things at the same time, get overwhelmed. So it's really valuable to me to work at one thing at a time. And so I've been building this table and a breakfast nook and a day bed. And there was this moment where I went to bed at night and I fell asleep, and I woke up again in the middle of the night, recalling my dream. And in the dream, I was basically doing the exact same thing as during the day. And I was standing there measuring my wood. And it was kind of profound because it had me see that I was doing at night the exact same thing I was doing in the day. My brain was basically continuing the same train of thought that I was engaging throughout the day. Now, one interesting aspect about this was that I came up in my dream. I woke up and I had the solution to a problem that I couldn't solve throughout the day, which is great. But the real astounding thing that I found was that because I was so simple in my day, the dream was also simple. And it's very easy. There was no interpretation of the dream necessary because it was very clear. And what it showed me was that the brain at night during dreaming is basically processing the day and trying to proceed and learn and come up with solutions to things that we couldn't figure out in the day. Now, this was so profound for me because on other days when we have a lot on our plate, when we have loads of different things that we work on, it became all of a sudden clear to me that at night our dreams become so abstract and confusing, and we need to use complicated dream analysis to understand them, because still we only have this one dream space, we only have this one dream consciousness. But now all of the different train of thoughts, all of the different problems come in and have to be processed in that time that we have throughout the night. And because everything gets crammed together, different problems from our relationship, from our work, personal problems, all sorts of things, if they come and collide together in our consciousness, they get really mixed up, and we try to solve many problems at the same time. So therefore our dreamscape, our landscape in the dream, looks very abstract and very strange. And this really led me to an insight that if I pick up a project, it comes with problems, it comes with the train of thought, it comes with an endless movement of trying to solve this project, trying to solve and get to the goal of completion in this project. And it's like once I pick that up, and I have a choice over that. It usually starts with an idea comes and oh, I want this, I want a hot tub, or I want a table here. In the moment where I say, okay, let's do it, I go for it, I basically have started to engage in a flow of thoughts, in a train of thought. And I can't really put that aside. It's interesting when you sometimes think, you say to someone who's highly stressed, relax, they can't relax. Or can you stop thinking about the problem that you have? You can't. So it's really about what do I pick up in my life that will determine how my brain is constituting itself over the next days, maybe weeks. And so with that in mind, that I'm basically the creator of my own confusion, of my own overthinking, of my own endless chattering in my mind. I went to Germany, and it really offered an opportunity for me to say that I won't pick up any new project. And it's something somewhat new to me because I've always been creative and had a lot of ideas, and so there's always this urge, oh, there's an idea, let me pick it up, let me do it. And it's somewhat unconscious, even if maybe we say no or to some things, but ultimately we always have a few different ideas, concepts or projects that we have somewhat picked up and attached to. And so I went to Germany and I was basically saying to myself, I'm gonna be mindful of my ideas and I'm gonna just let them be. I'm just gonna like let them go in and let them go out. And what usually happens is I get an idea and then I run with the project, and then one hits this place of like either a new idea comes in or one crashes. And so I went to Germany and I basically just started writing down ideas without going further into them. And the amazing thing that happened was that every day there was a new idea, which is kind of amazing because the stream of creative thought kept flowing rather than me having an idea and then grabbing onto it and going on a ride with this idea, which then somewhat takes away all the energy from creative thought, from creative observation, the inner observation of what is interesting, what is creativity bringing to the surface. That kind of like gets stopped and gets funneled all the way just into the completion of this project. And so I, over the course of the month in Germany, I really had time to slow down, which was amazing because it really enabled me to look at different things than being occupied by projects. And it enabled me to build a deeper connection with my kid and with my wife and with my parents and with each moment and with myself. And then also, because I was writing down all my ideas, I created a library, a whole list, probably like 60 or 70 different things that I want to be talking on. And they're not just projects, but they're really like meditations, they're observations, they are insights that I would like to share, hopefully over the next months. I want to try to maybe see if I can keep this consistent and talk on one of these topics every few days and share them with you, whoever wants to watch it. And so here's one thought. I do these recordings sometimes with my wife, and we had a very challenging conversation in one of those recorded talks about sex, and she had this reaction all of a sudden, and she was like, who anyway is gonna watch a long video like this of us just talking? And it's true. It's like, this is the reality in which we live in, and I think that's why this story I just shared is so significant. It's because most people are not aware of their own ambitiousness. And what I mean by that is like the ambitiousness to constantly pick up something and create something new. We always want to change our environment all the time. It's especially if you have a home or you have a career, you're maybe an entrepreneur or something like that. You always have ideas that how you want to improve something about yourself or about your life. And this is kind of what I mean. We like have then these ideas, this isn't right, and let me change that. And we pick up these things and we get occupied in our brain. And I think that's the main thing, is we are somewhat addicted to being occupied internally, being occupied in our brain, to be constantly rolling a train of thought. And if you pay attention to that and you allow the current occupations to come to an end naturally, without forcing them, without saying like, I go sit down, meditate 30 minutes and push all of this into nothing, or I have attention on my breath to stop all of this. But you actually just naturally let it come to an end, what you already started. Then you hit a space where it becomes really uncomfortable because one has to really be with what you feel. The moment brings up a certain constant stream of pleasurable and unpleasurable, comfortable and uncomfortable feelings. And my suspicion is, and I will invite you to ponder this with me, is that this constant occupation with progress or with creation in our life is something we have created in order to get the mind busy, because that's more comfortable than being with this stream of comfort and discomfort. And I think under that, when you hit that space of comfort, discomfort, one has to go through some form of a hell for a little bit. And this hell is somewhat a form of like dying to one's own attachments, to one's own ideas, to one's own concepts about who I am, what I should be doing with my life, who I should be becoming, who I should become, who I should be to the people around me, all that kind of stuff. And when one dies to that, when one just actually suffers through that death, there's a different way of being that is very clear, very simple, and like has a certain kind of enjoyment to it itself. That's really, really profound, but it takes this commitment in a certain way to oneself, this kind of form of a discipline, I guess, to like let things just fizzle out. And I think this is the problem why people wouldn't watch these videos, because I think that's very rare that people actually have time. Because most people, especially the ones who call themselves successful, are successful because they're constantly occupied. I don't know if it's actually success or if it's a form of self-torture, but most of the time, and I know this from my own experience, the times when I had the possibility, the ability to really listen to other people, or listen to an extended lecture, was the times when I was really close to the ground, when I was somewhat broken, like fallen apart, reached a level of poverty in a certain way, where like, not poverty in a form of like I'm poor, but poverty in a form of like I don't have much to occupy myself with. And often that comes for people when they hit a rock bottom, or when they hit depression, or when they lost a job and all of a sudden they're like, wow, I'm in this state of emptiness, of poverty, of I'm not talking about like the Buddhist kind of emptiness, but just like there's nothing that's like keeping me busy, and there's something that can be found inside of those places that's really profound. And I'm hoping to explore some of this in the following videos with you, hopefully, if someone's watching. And yeah, I think there's a lot that I want to go into and talk on that has to do with the discovery of one's own creativity and one's own like inner emptiness, which is really a profound place. It's really a place of creation. So yeah, if you still watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to continuing this myself as well. check if there's anything else that I want to add to this.